Remember when after school we would get home and take out our backpacks, eat a snack, and instantly run out the door and play with our little neighbors for hours until it got dark outside and our parents called us back in because we had to do our homework? Well, nowadays, if you look outside, you hardly see any kids playing outside, shooting some hoops in their bikes, or just hanging out in the yard. Phones, tablets, and video games have taken over the lives of these kids. They now spend more time looking at a screen for hours rather than playing like most of us would do when we were kids. Things such as phones, tablets, and video games have now become part of a kid's lives. Whether we go to the store or out for dinner, there isn't a day that we don't see a kid carrying a phone or a tablet hooked on a screen as if they were being controlled by it. This has caused kids to pay less attention to what happens in the real world. They have forgotten about playing outside. Kids are now too focused on technology, they've forgotten how to socialize with other people. And even though it may seem like this won't affect them in the future, it will, because they won't have the social skills they need to be successful. I have a 6-year-old brother. His parents bought him a tablet when he was 4. I personally thought this was a good idea because he wouldn't be able to learn his ABCs, his numbers, through apps that they were offered. Little by little, he started playing more and more games on a daily basis. When he would take him to his cousin's house, same age as him, instead of playing outside, they would both grab their tablet and they would be hooked on it all day. My brother is now in kinder, and the only time we probably see him play with other kids is when he has ball practice. Or if he goes outside with neighbors, they all just sit and play with their tablets. When he has homework, we take it away from him so he can focus on his homework. This makes it worse. He rushes through the homework so he can get back to being on his tablet. Like I have mentioned, smartphones and tablets have replaced basketballs and dolls. Even on the Christmas wish list, kids don't ask for these types of toys anymore. They ask for a phone, iPad, or consoles. The widespread of technology has gone down to the youngest members of our society. A data burden shows that almost 70% of 11 through 12-year-olds use a mobile phone. This increases to close to 90% by the age of 14. Technology has affected these kids in social skills. The advancement of technology and use of smartphones has reduced social skills extremely. The use of video games, for example, has them in their room all day where they don't communicate with anyone but a TV. This has caused children to lose empathy and compassion to human relations, and it has slowly turned them into robots who have one thing on their mind, and is being on a screen all day long. The use of technology in kids has decreased physical activity as well. Since kids now tend to sit more than usual and stare at a screen, they are standing and walking less every time, which decreases the amount of calories they burn per day. Kids tend to snack more when they are entertained with whatever device they are on, and they don't care what they're doing. They just keep eating and eating and eating. They don't really tend to move a lot because they are hooked on the screen. This causes them to not only to not burn the daily calories they need, but over time, this has increased a big obesity rate. Some of us as older brothers, cousins, and uncles. We as their elders need to take action and prevent all this technology and devices from taking over what is our future. Because at the end of the day, we one day will grow to be old and have to rely on these kids. We need to be an example and pull them out of these devices. Yes, we are busy adults, but giving them at least 1 hour of time per day won't hurt. We need to get them involved again in the outside world, to interfere with sports. Signing them up for any sport team costs less than any technological device there is out there. Not only that, it keeps these kids healthy and in good condition. We need to teach them that technology is not the only thing that will keep them away from boredom. Taking your brother, your cousin, your nephew to the park for at least 1 hour, little by little, this will make them realize that they don't need devices to have fun. Many parents have the idea that these devices keep their kids distracted and in a way will educate them. But we need to make a point and show them and prove to them that introducing their kids to technology at a very young age is not the correct way. By introducing these kids outside world and taking them away from these technological devices, they will learn they don't need these devices to have fun. Taking them to the park, we'll see other kids playing. They will see other kids playing as well, and they will interact with them. And that's when they will notice that those devices aren't the only friends, and they'll keep wanting to go to the park because they notice playing with other kids is way more fun than looking at a screen for others, than looking for a screen for hours. By involving kids in sports, this will create more social and communication skills towards them. Playing football, baseball, soccer will create big communication skills. They will communicate. When we introduce these kids to sports, we introduce these kids to a sport at a young age instead of we need to introduce these kids to a sport at a young age instead of introducing them to a technological device at a young age. And when they are introduced to other outside activities, they will play with other kids. This creates a communication skill towards them, where if they stood looking at a screen for hours, they'd have no one to communicate with but a screen that can't even speak back to them. Everyone should be able to be involved with this beginning with parents because they need to realize that technology is not the way to keep these kids distracted. We should also get involved because one day we are going to have kids and we wouldn't like to see them stuck on a screen all day. We all can get involved by helping in after-school programs or even boys and girls clubs and teach these kids why these devices aren't important and their life is better for them to be active. We can follow these solutions by paying more attention to these kids. Giving them a little of our time won't hurt anyone. Getting involved with them will show them that there is more than using devices, because sometimes we ourselves get distracted with our devices and they see that. So they think that it is okay for them to do it because we keep doing it constantly as well. We can always get involved with kids and little by little take them away from devices. We need to bring back the days where our neighborhoods were full of kids playing outside, where we would break a neighbor's window with the baseball and then run to our house because we were scared we were going to go to jail. Thank you.